So the 2019 election, you know which one I'm talking about, obviously.
Yeah.
So your reaction and thoughts on that one?
What a stinker.
Absolutely
That was the one that hurt the most, I think.
Do you know what it is? It's literally like, you know, in De Gea can see that goal with Everton where he's about to boot the ball out, it hits freaking Calvert-Lewin. That's what election felt like, because A, like, he didn't have to do that. B, he took ages, and C, he just kicked the ball out of the guy. That's what it felt like everyone collectively did. When the Lib Dems were like, what's her name? Jo
Swinson.
She's like, I've got momentum. I've got all these Labour guys joining me.
Joe, if you're listening,
you're an idiot.
You're a clown as well. You can go in the list of clowns. I've never liked Joe
Top
Swinson.
10 clowns.
Top 10 clowns.
I've never liked it either. I didn't like Ed Davey. Ed Davey's a snake as well.
Yeah. No.
I think it's Ed Davey. He's the second guy, wasn't he?
I think so.
He's the energy guy.
Most of the people in the Lib Dems are clowns. Not the people who vote for them. Like, appreciate what you're trying to vote for. But people in the Lib Dem party, some of you were clowns.
I got really annoyed because both parties should have come together and said, look,
yes.
You know, we're not going to run candidates in these places because it's going to take votes from each other. And then everyone's like, same prideful, yeah, I'm going to run here and you run here, fine. And then we didn't win because they could have took out Dominic Raab, which would have been massive one because I hate that guy. He hates the human rights. He hates economic rights.
Yeah.
He's such a tool.
Another one, Dominic, if you're listening, you're a clown as well, and
don't come on the show, mate. Because I just end up just thinking like, look, I'm gonna deck the guy.
Yeah, don't come on because you are a truly vile.
Don't mean to rub it in, mate, but you're a massive tool.
You were trying to claim back fees for the Harry Dunn case from the family, so you can.
Yeah, get off. So stay out of this town, man.
Yeah, don't come round here, Dominic.
Don't come round here, mate.
I won't swear, but I'm thinking of a swear word about you.
You are nothing. You're a fool, and you're a waste of time. Good night. You know, we're in the not in the afternoon yet, but
the time
we're going strong.
It's actually 11:47 a.m. on a Saturday.
We're going strong. So yeah, what are your thoughts going?
Yeah, very upset because I was one of the very few people that thought Labour weren't going to win, and I think a lot of people on Twitter were like, "Oh, look at the polling. Labour are just close. We could get a hung parliament." I was hoping for it, but the whole time I was like, "I don't think we're going to get it."
In fairness, you said on Twitter, I said it could be a hung parliament. You said I'm seeing a Tory majority, and I was like, where are you seeing these things at? I was so confused. He's right. Ellis was right.
A lot of people, like Labour activists on Twitter and people who support the party were. I said I think it will be a Conservative majority. A lot of people were like, "Oh, you know nothing about politics. You're stupid. It's going to be a hung parliament."
Yeah, did you tweet them people back?
No,
I would have done. I would have been like, delete your tweet, brother.
I was tempted, but I was a bit upset. But people were so clouded in their judgment of seeing certain.
Got my hand to my ear, like.
a prime Jose.
Yeah, that's the one.
I think people were so like, we're going to seeing all these stats on Twitter, and I was like, you're not seeing. I didn't door knock, but I heard a lot of people who did do door knocking.
I did a few for Salah, yeah.
I saw a lot of people who were door knocking say people were just not voting Labour because people didn't like Jeremy Corbyn, and people. I love you, Jezza, by the way. I'm a big fan of Jeremy Corbyn. Not that I think like we should stick with him now. We need to.
He's done.
Yeah,
he's too lost on the spin.
Yeah,
it's untenable now. And like he said, he'll stand down. Like Ed Miliband had one.
Yeah.
But he had 5 years. And so I think the rule is, you get one election, or because if you have two, that's just 10 years.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think it's too long.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Jeremy Corbyn, a great person who I've met, but again, like the time is kind of come to move on to pastures new. But I think a lot of people who were door knocking said that people just weren't voting because they disliked Jeremy Corbyn for whatever reason, and because people just wanted to leave the European Union, they just wanted out.
Yeah, because it's just dragged on, and the thing is, like, yeah, it's dragged on, but at the same time, you don't want it to end badly.
No, I think people have this whole, let's just leave and get it done with. It's not that easy, and it's also not safe for us to just leave the European Union because we will be, as a country, ruined.
There's some sharks in those trade negotiations, and we haven't done a negotiation in a while.
And people will just, if we just left the European Union, people, big countries will go, they need to trade with us, and they hold zero cards.
Do you know what it is? My personal favourite thing is I looked up this thing recently, where all the arguments have where they say we need them more than they need us they need us more than we need them because we import more stuff, right? With the US, we export more stuff than they sell to us. Yeah. Mainly Worcestershire sauce, to be fair, and that's how you pronounce it if you're in the US. By the way,
yeah, Worcestershire. Worcestershire sauce.
The crisp tastes horrible. I don't know why you guys.
Really? I love the crisp.
I've never liked them. It tastes weird and they smell funny as well.
See, I like that though, but
do you?
Again,
do you like salt and vinegar?
No, too hard on the lips.
I was gonna say.
I like salt and vinegar on my chips, but the crisps, like you have a little cut on your lip and you eat salt and vinegar, you are done for.
If you have to, I used to have sour sweets.
Oh,
we eat too many sour sweets, and you get the cut. That and the salt and vinegar quavers, they're the worst. They will cut you.
If you eat sour sweets, I'll say this now, you are a clown as well. Join the list.
I'm on the list, lads. I made it.
Why would you ruin a perfectly good sweet and make it sour?
The thing is, I really like sour stuff, like, you know, the sour oranges, not the mega sour, not the ones I like.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy, like, I'm trying to move on to eating oranges instead of eating sweets. The thing is, oranges just don't last long enough.
No.
That's the problem.
I'm not a big fan of an orange, to be honest.
Yeah, I know.
I love orange juice. I like orange flavour stuff, but I'm just orange chocolate. I love, but
That's how you avoid scurvy, man.
Is it? I don't think scurvy's presenting much of a problem.
You never know. If you go on the open seas anytime soon, you know.
That is true.
Scurvy could be a problem.
That is true.
You're going to regret not taking them oranges. But then I'm going to be like, oh, they're all rotten anyways. They've been in the barrel for a week.
Because no one's picked them.
Yeah, so if we go back to the election, like, this problem with me talking to you, man, like, we just go off.
Yeah, but that's what a podcast is all about, isn't it? Like, it's just about making a point, going
rambling conversation.
Yeah, this is just the ramble.
So, like, so your thoughts on it? Like, obviously, heartbreak,
despair, sadness. I think at that point I kind of realised that democracy had kind of died. Like, that election was bought.
There's only some court reforms, and the thing is, like, we'll go on to why people vote against their best interests soon, because I feel like that's probably the second most important question here.
Yeah.
Or maybe even the most important question. But at the same time, like, these guys, they're not going to look out for you. They're going to do a lot of things that are going to hurt a lot of working people. It's just going to be savage. Like, that's what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
And if we leave on no deal, it's going to spike interest rates, regardless of, even if things go back to where we are now. Not trade-wise, but if we crash out, interest rates go up, people are going to lose their houses very quickly. You can lose your job potentially very quickly, depending on which sector you work in.
Yeah.
And local economies will get decimated. A factory that closes doesn't just impact the people that work at the factory; it impacts a lot of people within the community, because you got to think, like, you have less money to spend now. You have less disposable income. You know, Momentum did a really good video on it, where they talk about how teachers' pay cuts affects potentially a lot of people.
Yeah.
Where, like, you're less money to go out to the restaurant that you normally go to. They have less money. They can't hire people.
It's a knock-on effect that people don't realise. The domino effect is awful.
It's the reverse of Reaganomics. Or Reaganomics, you think it's going to trickle down, it doesn't. But so I dubbed it offshore economics, where you give money to poorer people, like through a UBI or something like that, and then you got money to spend. You can do renovations, and so you can improve your living standards. But because you've got money that you want to spend, so long as the economy is not precarious enough where you have to put it in savings. But even if you put the money in savings, then at least you don't lose your house. So it still benefits people. And
the idea of, like, a universal basic income ties quite well with, like, Keynesian economics of investment in public services, because if you give people the opportunity to get a quicker bus to work, just better train services.
Buses in Northampton are a joke, by the way. That's why
they're not great.
Absolute shambles.
And you give people that along with a universal basic income, or even just higher wages, people will have the ability, instead of, I've got to wait an hour to get a bus to the town centre, people will have that opportunity to get to town quickly, to invest their money in local economy. They can go to local shops, they can go to local food areas, and they can invest back into the economy because they have the disposable income to do so. Now, people have no disposable income, and it has a knock-on effect to the town. We live in Northampton, and my God, like, the town centre is...
Don't visit. If you don't live in Northampton, just don't bother.
It's a shame, because it has so much potential to be a great place, Northampton, and it has just been decimated by austerity.
The thing is, like, they were going to build an IKEA here, and, like, the council said, no. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
The amount of people coming from Northamptonshire, would come here instead of going to MK.
Yeah.
And then you keep people here, like, maybe they buy the food in IKEA. IKEA sell food, right?
They do.
Or they might go somewhere else nearby to get food.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm just thinking, like...
so many places are closing as well. Rent controls in Northampton are so high to rent, like, a public space.
And literally, I think it's called the Bird Walk or something like that in town. Where it's like,
the Bird Walk,
a place with, like, a load of run-down shops. And there's, like, a place that sells really nice, like, Chinese things, I think. And it's just never open. I'm just like, why?
Yeah, because people just can't afford it, and it's a shame.
It's not that. It's the shop's always closed. I'm thinking, like, why is the shop always shut? And, like, why has it not been replaced? That place has been empty for, like, 7 years. Like, the only reason I walk through it is to get out of the rain.
Yeah, literally. And you see, like, our Marks and Spencer's closed down. That was a massive unit gone, and now it's just
BHS. But that was like a regional thing as well.
But obviously that closed nationally, but like that area is huge in the town centre, and it's just empty. And the town is just so grey and
dull,
drab. Yeah,
full of bad singers.
Yes, a lot of bad singers.
Guy,
some are very good.
Caden, I dubbed him Bad Singer Guy. He was just terrible.
Like the town with the geographic location Northampton has so much potential, but Tory austerity has killed this town.
We're right by Birmingham, we're right by Milton Keynes, and we're right by London.
Yeah, we're in a great spot, and you've got great links to go to the north, to the south, the east, and west. But the town has just been.
They've renovated the train station. The train station's a lot better than it was.
Yeah.
Bus station. This is the genius of the Northampton Council, right? You've got this
which I do work for, but not in that department.
It's conflict of interest. That's why I didn't want to ask you any real council questions, because I didn't want anything to happen. But I guess everyone says it. I'll say it. And this is out of this one. Right. Yeah. We had a big bus station, the Greyfriars, right? And I'll put a picture up. Some guy, he sat at the entrance, stood at the entrance, goes, "This is like the mouth to hell." I'm like, at least it works, man.
It was a very
ugly,
horrible looking building.
Cold.
Yeah.
Miserable.
Scary.
Grey. Asbestos.
Yeah.
but the thing is,
it did a great job as a bus station.
It had about 3 or 4 lanes.
And it was massive.
And like now, they put it into a new bus station, which is tiny. The buses, because they only have like 1 lane. So if someone else takes your lane for a reason, you'll go to a different one. And I'm like, "Where's my bus?" And he's like on the outside. I'm like, "Why?"
Why is he doing that? Yeah.
And like, then they've used the Drapery, which is like another road, like a high street road. They've used that basically as a second bus station, because half the buses go down there.
And the Drapery is always busy.
It's very narrow.
Yeah, very, very small.
Very narrow. It wasn't designed for that, and the fact that pollution's gone way up in that area because there's 3 goddamn traffic lights outside the bus station.
Yeah.
For one thing, and the buses only have 1 entrance, 1 exit.
Yeah, you get 1 way in, 1 way out.
And the thing is, with the old bus station, I think you had about 3. There were 3 lanes. Yeah. I think. It was huge. I didn't realise until you see that plot of land, and that's the genius of the council. And so not Ellis' department. And so that's just, there's no thought for practical planning in this country. I think that's a real problem. With HS2, I think they're only cutting about 20 minutes off certain commutes anyways, which is a lot in the long term. But then how much is it going to cost to get one of these nice high-speed trains?
But I think with HS2, a lot of the time it takes to get from one place to another isn't really the problem. It's the fact that
no seats.
You're not guaranteed a seat. You're also paying a ridiculous fare cost. That's the problem people are having. They don't want a faster train. The train is more than quick enough as it is. That's not a problem. They just want bigger trains. They want better equipped trains, more carriages, nicer seats.
Wi-Fi. Give me Wi-Fi.
Yeah, and not this Wi-Fi they have now. It doesn't work.
I want free Wi-Fi.
Free, good Wi-Fi. Because the Wi-Fi they have now is atrocious.
I'm going to go on YouTube whilst I'm on my train journey.
Yeah, I don't know, is it London Midwestern it's called now? It used to be London Midland, but it's changed name. They're always like, our Wi-Fi, you can stream these shows. No, you can't, you clown. I have to download them on Netflix or Amazon Prime. And then I have to watch them like that.
I was on YouTube on 44p.
God.
And then the worst thing is, the train that goes to the West Midlands, it's where my nan lives, big up Kidderminster.
Kidderminster.
Such a whack place. Kidderminster Harriers though.
Yeah, used to be a good little team.
There's no Wi-Fi on that train. Yeah. So I'm going from Wi-Fi to no Wi-Fi. I'm like, why?
So I don't know if the train that goes from, where does it go? Nottingham to Lincoln, I think it goes. It's like the size of a bus, but it's a train.
It goes backwards, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
And it's tiny. You can fit about 40 people on it.
You know what? When I went to visit Canaan once, I think I got there and it was just packed out. I literally had to sit on my suitcase.
Yeah. And that train is awful. I'm thinking, how are people paying for this?
Because you have to, don't you?
Yeah.
Buses
and that's the thing with privatised trains, is that there's no need for them to improve because there's no other services.
This is the most ridiculous thing, right? And maybe you've discussed this many times. The train from Northampton to Leicester is 1 hour and a half, stops in Rugby, and then you have to get off to Nuneaton, is it not?
It's Nuneaton, yeah, I think it's Nuneaton.
Where's it from Northampton to Nuneaton?
When we got it, we went to Rugby because we had to stop at Rugby because we played Mario Kart for about 40 minutes. It was about half an hour we had.
That was great. To be fair, I didn't love waiting, but I did enjoy playing Mario Kart.
Yeah, Leicester.
And Ellis won somehow.
I'll look on train. I'm a good player at Mario Kart.
He's a dark horse in his Mario Kart. Don't play him. Don't ever play with Mario Kart. He bodied me. I think he had me with some shells.
But I'll look on train on now. So, but we went from Northampton to Rugby, which is about 20 minutes, I think it is, or something like that. It's quite short. We had about a half an hour wait, so yeah, we had a quick game of Mario Kart.
Oh, is that because that douchebag train driver? That was it, because the train driver was late, and we missed our second train.
Yeah, we were there on time.
That was it, yeah, because the guy was eating his lunch or something.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So, Northampton to Leicester, let's have a look. I think ours was a little bit longer than this, so it's normally 2 changes.
Yeah.
So yeah, you go from Northampton to Rugby. Sorry, I'm looking at London News. No, I'm not. The train line app need to sort themselves out. Northampton to Rugby, which is about 22 minutes. Then you have to wait at Rugby to go to Nuneaton, which is 12 minutes. And then you have to go from Nuneaton to Leicester, which is nearly an hour.
You have to wait how long the train takes?
yeah, that's how long the train takes. That doesn't even count in waiting times, which, to be fair, shouldn't be too long. But if you're waiting kind of 10-15 minutes, that's a lot of time.
And so get this right. So you have to wait for how long is the train? About an hour and a half.
About hour and a half, hour 40.
Alright, so if you go to the Wellingborough train station, which is a bit further up, but if you got a car, it's fine. It takes half an hour to go to Leicester. That's how much of a joke the train lines are in this country. Where if you drive to a second train station, that's not that much further out. Because if you drive to town, you get caught in traffic.
Yeah.
Really bad traffic as well.
If you go to like Lincoln and stuff.
Yeah, and so it's way easier to go to Wellingborough, half an hour train, and it's cheaper.
Well, Northampton, because we got a train from, Northampton to Lincoln because the Wellingborough train service wasn't in service that weekend. The one from Wellingborough to Lincoln wasn't in service, so we had to go to Northampton.
Construction down there,
yeah, which fair enough. Madge, a friend, and I, we got the train from Northampton.
Tom Whelan, big up.
Big up Tom Whelan.
The League of Legends
champion. So we went from Northampton to Lincoln, and that was, I think it took us nearly 4 hours.
Oh my god, yeah.
And it was
the mighty Spud.
Yeah,
I remember that.
And we were just, we were reading our books. We were chatting.
It was a Sunday, to be fair. I think
because we went on the Saturday and came back on the Sunday, and I just remember the way there took about 4 hours. You go from Wellingborough to get to Lincoln's about 2 hours, I think it takes. So
because the main because where did we went to? We went to Nottingham, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then the Nottingham train goes to Leicester, doesn't it? I think it does. I think it goes to Leicester. Yes. There is a train that goes from Leicester to Nottingham. I'm pretty sure that must have been the route we went on. And so it was just a nightmare.
Yeah, we got to Leicester and then went to Nottingham and then we got another train from Nottingham up to Lincoln. And that was a horrible journey.
And they're just not getting fixed. I get train lines are hard to do because of the costs and stuff like that, but the fact that that's been like that for so long, and the fact that no one's really bothered to do a lot, it's just frustrating. And Johnson did promise a Northern Powerhouse HS2. HS2 is going to cost a massive amount.
Oh, it already has.
Yeah, it has. It's not much been built yet. And I just don't know if it's worth it. And he's talking about bringing back rural buses. And he's made a lot of spending from, the right-wing populist is taking some left-wing ideals of spending and promising that. And so, that's the main problem that a lot of people had is you're going to have to raise taxes or borrowing to do this. We're not going to do that. And he's like, so how are you going to pay for it? And he's like, money?
Yeah.
No, he's like, how are you going to pay for it? Yes. Do you know what I mean?
But if Boris Johnson, the media won't really question it. Because
the other problem is he's like one of those guys where he'll say something and he'll expect other people to do it, very Trump-like in that fashion.
Yeah.
And so with the election, we've elected the Clown Prince, and so with that, he pushed Javid out because he wanted Javid to have their own set. Johnson's advisors basically in there.
Yeah.
And no one does that. I can't use the word that I want to use for this. But yeah, I think I might have used my original video, but yeah, he's basically saying you're going to take orders from me directly now, when no Chancellor's ever had to put up with that before. Even Brown and Blair did have some minor arguments.
Yeah, well, Chancellor is a very
second highest.
Yeah.
Second highest position. Priti Patel, bullying, all that sort of stuff. I guess it's kind of relevant now, anyways. But talking about that here because I don't think I've got it in any other questions. But Patel's a bully.
I know. Well, she's a witch. I think that's a fair
comment. What's called the Salmon Witch Trials or something like that?
Yeah,
Salem Witch Trials.
She's just an awful, awful, awful human. She's vile.
Pushed out a senior civil servant. He's been there for years. He's been doing this before we were politically active.
Yeah.
That's how long he's been doing this for.
And she's just a horrible.
She's pushed him out. She's had complaints from, I think she's at the DWP. She got complaints from there. She got complaints from another department she worked in, and she's got complaints now. What are the three things in common there?
Yeah.
Between those three departments, it's her.
Yeah.
These people put up with Theresa May, the bloody difficult woman. Do you know what I mean? How bad do you have to be worse than the lady who calls herself a bloody difficult woman?
And turned out to not be very difficult.
She was very difficult.
Well, to push out, yeah.
I mean, they basically said that we're not going to agree to your plan. And she's like, oh right, I guess that means I'm done then. Yeah, sorry, Theresa. And she's like, I guess
that's me done.
Dave, I'm joining the list of prime ministers who basically stabbed in the back.
Yeah, it's a long list of Conservative ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know. Didn't Priti Patel?
It's like a tongue twister.
Yeah, it is.
Say it 10 times.
Oh, she'll. It's like Bloody Mary. You say it, she'll just put behind you.
She appears. Yeah, go
awful woman. Didn't she get kicked out of a certain role for almost treason?
Yeah, she did some sort of secret meeting with Israel and Theresa May was like, "You did what now?" She's like, "Yeah."
She should be behind bars. Like,
I don't think it was like massively that bad, but it did. I think the optics were really bad.
yeah.
The optics were really bad. I think that's the main problem. And
I don't like her.
we don't know what happened because it's a secret meeting, which should be illegal in itself because you're a minister. You work for the government, not you know. What I mean?
think
May didn't send you there. You weren't there yourself.
a lot of politicians don't really realise that they are elected public officials. It's like,
They think they're there by rite of passage.
Yeah.
Like, you know the divine right of kings.
yeah,
That's what some of these people think.
that
they
is
have.
a lot of
Like,
politicians
I didn't,
from
I
all
came
parties.
Here, I came here because of the merit of my merit, not
Yeah.
because people put me here.
Yeah,
I deserve to be here.
yeah, and that's, I guess we'll kind of come on to like because we're going to look at the Labour lead, and I guess we'll have a little chat about the deputy as well. But that's why I like Angela Rayner so much. Someone who kind of pulled herself up and
So did Long Bailey as well.
oh yeah.
And I guarantee I'll get those two mixed up somehow.
He always does. No, we'll obviously kind of chat.
Yeah, my laptop's turning into a jet engine now. If you can hear the fan, I'm really sorry.
Wait,
I'll move my mic
yeah,
out
I'll
of the
pull
way.
mine a little bit further to me as well.
And so yeah, I'm really sorry about
Hopefully
that. It can't be helped. But yeah, point.
Yeah,
point
we're on a bit of a budget setup right here,
ghetto, bruv.
but a professional podcast.
Yeah, you know, two professional guests, or one professional guest and one professional producer. Producer Madge.
Yep.
You know, editor Madge, producer Madge,
Editor,
big
producer,
Madge, all
and I'm just here for the
bands.
pretty much, yeah.
To be fair, it's been fun so far. It's just, you know what I mean, like, time is the problem, do you know what I mean? Well, we
Yeah,
do this all day.
We may have to run through, kind of miss a few questions off, like.
Yeah. So yeah, you know what I mean, like,